What if a Roman legion storms a World War II bunker? 5,000 elite soldiers with swords, shields, and spears charging directly at machine guns, barbed wire, and mines. They have no firearms, explosives, or any concept of what a bullet is. Do they have a chance, or will they be destroyed in seconds? At first glance, it's a massacre. But if you dig deeper, considering the terrain, numbers, and tactics, everything becomes stranger. If this battle goes like most ancient fights against modernity, it will end quickly. We have seen this before. 16 Spanish soldiers arrived with firearms and armor, and about 6,000 Incas fell in a matter of minutes. Bullets, steel, and total confusion. They thought the horses were monsters. Now imagine a Roman legion marching onto a field filled with trenches. Hearing the deafening crack of the MG-42 machine gun firing 20 rounds a second and watching whole rows fall before they see the enemy's face. This is not a battle. It is a psychological collapse. The Romans do not understand what a mine is. They do not know what barbed wire is. And when the first few hundred fall, having not thrown a single dart, panic quickly takes hold. They lose formation. They disintegrate. The front edge turns into a pile of bodies and discarded shields. This is the main secret of modern warfare: horror and shock. A tremendous force that breaks morale before anyone understands what is happening. If things go this way, the Legion will be defeated in less than 10 minutes. But such a scenario is too simple. Let's ask another question. What if they do not succumb to panic? They see their front line being destroyed, but they hold their formation, shields raised, dots ready, a whole legion trained to march into hell on command. Now this is a real battle. On one side, 5,000 Roman legionnaires armed with gladi, pilums, large shields, and simple armor without ranged weapons or explosives. On the other side, a small team from a World War II bunker, possibly 10 to 15 German soldiers equipped with MG-42 machine guns, Mauser rifles, grenades, and fortified concrete walls surrounded by barbed wire, trenches, and landmines. The battlefield is a vast open space, devoid of trees and cover. The Romans have numbers, discipline, and pure will. The bunker has range, weaponry, and one huge advantage. It was designed to survive during World War II, not against spears. It's not just about firepower, it's about how long each side can continue the fight. The bunker team has a significant advantage in defense, but they are not invincible. The MG-42 machine guns fire rapidly, up to 200 rounds per minute, meaning they quickly exhaust their ammunition. They will also need to change the barrels every 150 shots, otherwise they risk overheating the weapon. The team may have several thousand rounds, neatly packed in belts, but even that may not be enough during prolonged fire. They probably have several boxes of grenades, each containing 15 M24 grenades, useful for clearing trenches or throwing at enemies from firing holes. But, like ammunition, they are not replenished. Food and water will last a few days, at most, a week. These bunkers were not meant for sieges. They were built to hold out until help arrived. However, even with limited supplies, one well-camouflaged machine gun position can hold off hundreds of enemies while it operates. The Romans are ready for long campaigns. They carry food, water, and equipment enough for weeks. And when there are 5,000 of them, they can rotate units, rest, and regroup. But here is the problem. They have nothing that could break through concrete. Even if their siege weapons had moved with them, they would be useless here. No battering rams or ballistae, only spears with iron tips and the strength of muscles. So even surrounding the bunker, they cannot enter it, not without great losses. And if they wait too long, the bunker may be reinforced. This is the real timer in this struggle. Can the Romans come up with something before there is no one left to fight? They have already faced impossible odds, not with bullets, but with fortified cities, traps, and siege after siege. And when brute force doesn't work, the Romans get creative. Shield walls, of course, they can fix shields in a moving line and crawl forward. But against the MG-42 machine gun, it's just a slower way to get shot. One shot, and the formation turns into a heap of twisted metal. They were already digging trenches, but not under machine gun fire, and they don't even have shovels or any cover. A night attack. Now that's interesting. Without night vision, the defenders become blind after sunset. The attack at 3 o'clock in the morning. Shields raised. Pilums ready. They can approach the bunker closer before being noticed, perhaps even reach the firing slots. When they reach the line, chaos will begin. Pylons are thrown through narrow openings, shields pushed into gaps, hands, spears, everything that fits. If they are lucky, they will pin down the barrel or hit someone inside. The only real tactic is to press forward and suppress. Throw hundreds at the bunker, take fire, hoping that a few will reach the trench. This is not even a strategy, but a sacrifice. Even if they reach the bunker wall, it is still not the end. The defenders still have grenades, pistols, and the high ground. One grenade in a tightly grouped mass, and the game is over. So yes, the Romans might break through, but it will cost them hundreds, possibly thousands of lost lives. Even then, they will only face a concrete wall. On the other hand, the bunker crew does not need complex strategies. They only require discipline, time, and patience. They cannot waste ammunition, so they shoot in short bursts, aiming directly at the gaps in the shields. The gunners change to update their sights, and the barrels are quickly swapped before the weapons overheat. If the Romans come close, the crew does not panic. They have pistols, grenades, even flamethrowers, and stronger bunkers provide many ways to quickly clear the trenches. They also have height. The shooting holes are angled downwards, giving them clear shots at the crowd while remaining virtually unreachable, and they are not completely blind at night. Signal pistols illuminate the field, and as soon as something starts moving, it instantly becomes visible. While the Romans are still trying to devise a plan, the team in the bunker simply keeps their finger on the trigger and waits. Can the Roman legions capture the bunker? Yes, but not without casualties. If they attack at night, send enough people into the trenches and block the firing slots with everything they have, they might break through the outer perimeter. Perhaps. But they are fighting against a fortified fortress that has no siege weapons, long-range artillery, and zero protection against explosives. Every move forward costs in life, and the closer they get, the worse the situation becomes. Even if they reach the bunker wall, there's still the problem of how to get inside. The concrete doesn't crack from spears. The firing slits don't open. There are no gates to break, only walls. Meanwhile, the team in the bunker remains protected, organized, and fully capable of destroying the next wave of attackers. The only real chance for the Romans is to overwhelm the defenders with numbers and hope that they run out of ammunition, stamina, or common sense first. But, looking realistically, as soon as they charge into the attack, history is rewritten as a very short chapter. However, there is another possible outcome. The Roman commanders were not foolish. They understood when a battle could not be won. After losing hundreds of people without a single victory, the order was given: retreat and regroup. And then they do what the Romans are truly good at. They build roads, camps, watchtowers. A Roman settlement begins to rise a few miles from the bunker.